I expect miracles, and I exude that in every conversation and every movement. The healing is moving through you, not from you, or from maternity leave and growing through that, or the hardships of COVID. It doesn't matter. Hello, friends. Welcome to Adjust the Adjuster. This is our first episode. This is going to be a branch of the Big Idea Network. I am your guide, Dr. Devin Verana, and we're going to go on some adventures together. This is a mission to bring more fuel to the fire of chiropractors who are serving out there in the trenches today. This is an expansion of a vision that I have of chiropractors who are full of love, who are full of life, who have a power on in every aspect of their lives. So when we are our fullest, brightest selves, when we really get the big idea, then we are able to serve within our households, within our communities, within this world at a much higher capacity. And what I notice within myself, within, my friend networks within chiropractic, and as I go to different events and kind of put my finger on the pulse of students and doctors that are in the field right now, is that we're subluxated, we're tired, we're burnt out, we are a little apathetic, we're lazy. We each have our own subluxation, and collectively, we deal with different division and divisiveness and frustrations that we have with, everything from schools to boards to regulations to the yada, yada, yada. And every single one of those little and big subluxations that we have individually and collectively keep us from doing our job, from stepping into our calling and our destiny. And if we adjust the adjuster, if we adjust our hearts, if we adjust our minds, if we make some adjustments to our body and our rhythms and our schedules and our teams, then we step up into the leadership that I think that we have been designed for such a time as this. I don't think there has ever been a better time to be a chiropractor. And although I have heard that for years, I can feel it in my bones that this is the time. I mean, we can rewind to 2020 and we can look at the chaos of the last few years and look at the acceleration and the expansion of conversations that we're having, with our patients, with our communities, that we're seeing in the world. There are topics coming to the table. There is a momentum that is ramping up where people are leaving that medical model in droves, and they're looking for leadership. They're looking for sanctuary. They're looking for community and camaraderie. And the question is, will we be ready for this influx as we reach a critical mass in our collective and people are looking for us? The question is, will you step up, chiropractor? Will you be there, or will you be stuck in your own stuff? Will you be limited by your subluxations? Will we as a profession be limited by our own divisiveness and miss this opportunity? Because if we do miss the boat, somebody else is going to fill the gap. And we already see it in other professions where they're using some of our language and they're catching on. And that's okay. I mean, God is going to call someone to lead the people as these different shifts start to happen in the collective. And I believe that I will be ready. And I would love to do my part to help as many chiropractors and chiropractic students feel ready and powerful for this moment. And that's what this is all about. I have been so blessed to meet a lot of amazing chiropractors, to study at the foot of masters, to be in the presence of doctors who are gifted in adjusting, gifted in business, gifted in communication, gifted in philosophy. And those fires have rubbed off on me. And I carry little seeds of different conversations and experiences in my heart. And I want to share them with those of you that maybe didn't get to learn from the Geniomes and the Richard Yinnies. And I want to pull in some of the voices of leadership that we have in the profession today, because guys, we're doing good, but we could do a little bit better. And we are as strong as our weakest link, so to speak. And I think that comes with banding together and having a focus on our common purpose, which is lighting up the world through the power of chiropractic, which is taking people to the source, that the power that made the body heals the body, that is opening our offices fueled by passion and purpose and stepping to the table each and every day to find the subluxations, to remove the interference and turn the power on one at a time. And every time we flip that switch, we turn on the light. Every time we put in a full day at the office filled with those connections, those adjustments, those conversations, we are changing the fate of the planet. it. It's a big deal, but we can't give what we don't have. So my question is to you, when it comes to passion and purpose and power, how are you? Are you subluxated or are you filled to the brim? Are you on fire or are you burning out or burnt out? This is going to be a space that you can come to, and I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet every week because I know you got things to do. So I'm going to pack as much in as I possibly can, and I want you walking away going, that was the adjustment for my chiropractic soul that I've been needing. That was a little fuel, gasoline dumped on the fire that you can go back to your family, your community, your team with just a little bit more ramped up in your system, ready to serve in a whole new way, because every tip of the scale takes us closer, guys. And, I sat in BJ Palmer's house a couple of times and I'd start to cry every time I go into his library and I see the books on the mantle. It wasn't even a calling for him. It was an obsession. He was obsessed. He couldn't turn it off. The stream of consciousness, the calling moving through him haunted him. Almost. We are all better for it. But my gosh, he was consumed. He was consumed. And I feel a version of that. And it does wake me up. And I think about it from the second I'm on my walk with God every morning. And I think about it as I'm laying my head. Did I serve at the capacity that I could? And there's been a nudge for years that I'm not doing enough for my fellow chiropractic brothers and sisters. And this is now where I get to pour some of that energy in. So please share this conversation, this podcast, this YouTube channel with your other friends in chiropractic, and let's get as many people fired up and adjusted as we possibly can. Today, I picked 5. If I had one conversation with every single person in chiropractic, what would I want my 5 to look like? And on this day in August 2024, the very first thing is the big idea, because as the saying goes, when you get the big idea, all else follows. So I'm going to, put the poem down here in the show notes, and I want you to read it. And the challenge that I would give you is maybe for 30 days, you read it every single day. Don't just get the big idea in your mind. Don't just leave it as an idea. Take it in your bones. Take it in your hands. Take it in the frameworks of your practice. Share it with your significant other. Share it with your children. Share it with friends. Pull it into your masterminds that you have in your chiropractic circles. Let's put the big idea front and center, right? The biggest idea that I know of, a slip on the snowy sidewalk. Do you get what he's saying in this very simple poem? Because the magic of chiropractic is in every single line of the unfolding of the big idea poem. And I didn't grow up in chiropractic. I didn't bring it into my life, my health, or my family until I was in chiropractic school. And since then, and since someone being bold enough to share that poem and that philosophy with me, it has now changed the legacy in my family. My kids, the big idea is not something that I do. It's not my business. This is a family mission because we get the big idea. And so my question to you, do you? Because what I hear when people ask me questions of how do I grow my practice? How do I balance, being a mother and practice? How do I get new patients? I look at the quality of questions that we're asking in chiropractic, and the answer that I would give back to every single one of you, no matter what question you bring me, is read this poem. This is your do not pass go. This is you don't get to collect $200. You don't get it yet. Do you get it? Because when you bring in it and you understand that everybody's daily choices and life experiences, their slips on the snowy sidewalk, their falls from the ladder, whatever's going on in the lives of the people that you're laying hands on, is taking them in a path of light, of health, of vitality, or it is taking them in a trajectory of sick, disease, dysfunction, death. And when they step in your office, or if we're talking about your kids and your family, if they're in your circle, you have the key to help them shift their trajectory from dark to light at any given moment. Do you get that? Do you get that it is that simple? That we are either going left or we are going right. We are either going up the ladder or down the ladder. That's it. It's that simple. And you have to stream chiropractic down to that little big idea and fall in love with there first. And then you can put everything else on top of it. Because when you get the big idea, when I understand that every adjustment that I deliver with my hands is taking them on the path to health and healing, and if I don't deliver it with focus and intention, if I don't gather the proper information and really find the proper subluxation to remove the interference, if I'm not on purpose when I'm doing that, I'm missing opportunities. And the level of intention and focus and commitment that I'm putting into every single adjustment, every single new patient consultation, every single report of findings, every single team meeting and team training is fueled by the big idea because I get it and I understand the difference. It is either power on or it is suffering. And God put it in my hands. I get the big idea and I move with the big idea every single day. I speak with the big idea in everything I do. Do you get the big idea? Activate it every single day and just watch what happens to your practice and your life. Second thing that I would put out into chiropractic, it's not about you. There is so much selfishness going on in this profession and my wants and my needs and my season. You were called to be a servant. Get over yourself and put the needs of other people first. I know that doesn't land very well with some people who might find themselves in the storms of life. But guys, when I was in the lowest point of my life, I can go back to 2016 in a heartbeat. I'm pregnant with my second set of twins. I'm practicing in a solo practice at a high volume. I had strained my abdomen, so there was pain in every single adjustment that I was giving in a very high volume situation. My mom passed away in January. I lost multiple pediatric patients in the first few weeks of 2016, and I got an audit from Blue Cross that put me through the ringer. And the 6 months that led, from January to June as I was preparing to go on a maternity leave were pure hell. I was broken. I was sick. I was hurting, I was angry, and yet every single morning I could find a way to put the needs of the people that I was taking care of ahead of me. And that's what carried me through. It's that I was called to take care of my team. I was called to take care of my community. And yeah, I wanted life to be going a different way, but their needs came before my needs. And in stepping up to that service, God then met all of my needs in every aspect of my life, from student becoming a new doctor and opening a practice, from when we're broken, we have nothing, when I'm broken and grieving, or from maternity leave and growing through that, or the hardships of COVID. It doesn't matter what valley I have hit, what collision has broke me in 1,000 pieces. Every single time when I put others before myself, I am carried through. You got to get over yourself. It's not about you. You've got to push yourself to become the best version of yourself. You've got to adjust the adjuster for them, for your wife, like for your husband. Who are you serving? Are you serving yourself? How do I get new patients is a self-centered question. How do I serve more people is a very different question. Look at the quality of the questions. Look at the level of your excuses. Look at the pity party that you might be in and figure out a way to get over it. And if that's you and I'm hitting you in the feels, reach out to me because I've been there. And because I had really good friends who said, it's not about you, get over it. Because I had them and they loved me through that painful time and they helped champion me when I didn't have the strength to stand up on my own 2 legs, literally, because I was held. I want to help hold you. You are not alone unless you choose to be alone. Reach out and ask for help. If you're feeling this, please message me. I may not have the answer, but I bet I can help you find one. As we go from that one and it not being about you, I'll go to number 3, which is it's all about you. It is all about you. That's the inverse there. It's not about you and it's all about you. And when you get those 2 things, when you get both sides of that coin, poof, life, health, wealth, prosperity, marriage, relationships, practice, boom. If you can balance the pull of both of those, that it's not about you and it's all about you. When I say it's all about you from above down, inside out, grade yourself. What is your relationship to source, to God? Because when you tell me that, I can tell you what's going on in your life and your practice in about that much time. It all comes from above down, inside out. And that starts with us, the chiropractor. If your practice isn't where it needs to be, I will ask you first and foremost, are you praying every day? Are you meditating every day? Are you connecting to your source? Do you remember that you are not the one doing the healing? The healing is moving through you, not from you. It's your hands are an extension of heaven to earth. Do you get that? Has anybody ever had that conversation with you? Because if you haven't and you want to have that talk, I'd love to have that talk. Hit me up. Because when I had the ego and I thought I was the one, I'm the chiropractor, come to me and I will set you free. You can be successful, but you won't be fulfilled. You can grow a big practice, but you will burn out. You will crash and burn because that is a limited capacity. But when I understand each and every morning that I am a daughter of God, that I am His, and I will serve to the best of my capacity. Now you can use whatever words. I'm not going to get into a religious undertone here because that's for you. I answer to God. And I love watching The Chosen and watching the way Jesus moved and this concept of what would Jesus do. Guys, when you look at who we are and you watch a thing like Chosen, or you study the life of Jesus and you look at Christ consciousness, he laid hands and the sick and the suffering stood up, healed, renewed. Do you know anybody that does something similar? Chiropractic, they walk into your office, they take the money that they have worked very hard to earn and they lay it on your countertop. They come back to you and they bring you your aches and your pains and they lay on your table and you lay hands on them. What my question is under this "it's all about you" is, what type of hands are you laying on them? Are they tired hands? Are they grateful hands? Are they enthusiastic hands? Are they powerful hands? Are they weak hands? Are they distracted hands? What hands are you laying on them? What would Jesus do? And that comes from source, from above and then down. We got to do the work. You got to work out. You got to move your body every single day. You got to drink good drinks and eat good foods. Look at the quality of your environment, the toxicity in your life, chemically, emotionally, mentally. You got to clean your house, your body temple, your relationships, because you are the product. So I would ask, what type of product are you serving in your practice? How do I get new patients? Well, what are you offering them? Because maybe it's not out there that's the problem. Maybe it's not your systems or your staff. Maybe it's not even your adjustment. Maybe it's that you need to eat better, sleep more, have a healthier daily routine. Look to your habits, look to your non-negotiables, and I will show you the quality of your practice. Above, down, do the work. Chiropractors, get healthy, get vital first, and then teach vitalism. You can't give what you don't have. Otherwise, you're a hypocrite. Do the work. Live the work. Become the work. It's all about you. Nurture your relationships, because again, like I can look when my practice was big and booming and high volume, but my relationship with my husband was sick and subluxated. And as I've doubled down at growing a really healthy relationship with him and as a mother with my kids, then I have not just more success in the practice, but more fulfillment in the days of my life here on planet Earth. That's where balance comes from the inside out. So women out there looking at how can I have 5 kids, I got 2 sets of twins, guys. I get it. We homeschool. I have multiple businesses. Give me like a list of excuses that you have for not living your dream life. And I promise you, I'm going to tee it off, because I believe you can have everything, but it takes work and it takes dedication and it takes radical clarity of who you are and what you want in the first place, and then how much work you're willing to put in to get it. Ladies, we can have it, but you got to be clear, and you can't have 100% of everything all the time. It will take teamwork. It will take teamwork on the home front. It will take teamwork in your office. It will take teamwork in your own personal self-care and accountability. I got a circle of women who help hold me accountable. It's all about you. So who's speaking life into you? Who is in your inner circle? Are you connected to God? Are you doing the work? Are you clear in your mission, your vision, in your practice? Get the big idea. It's not about you. It's all about you. Number 4, let it come from your soul. This is Dr. Hugo Gibson. If you've been to Focus, you can hear him in his South African accent. Let it come from your soul. Where does chiropractic come from? In you. Is it coming from your hands? Is it coming from your mind? Where do you do your consult from? Where do you do your ROF from? Where do you deliver adjustments from? Where do you lead your team meetings? How do you have dinner with your significant other? How do you spend time with your kids? When it comes from your soul, when you are tapped into the essence of your being, which requires being well-adjusted and clear and connected in the first place, life gets brighter. It is literally the difference of life in black and white versus life in color. Hence my light bulb logo that I have. This is all about turning the light on in your life. You want every single vibrant color in your life, in your marriage, in your finances, in your practice. Let it come from your soul. It can't be a job. It can't be something you're doing. It needs to be a lifestyle. It needs to be a pilgrimage. It needs to be destiny pulling you forward, not a vision board. The vision board is just a physical representation. A goal is just a representation of this bigger thing inside of here. And again, with every single one of these, if you're like, I hear you, but how do I access that? Hit me up. Hit me up. We've got to forge ourselves in the fire to get to these things. But before every adjustment or before every shift, if you just say, let it come from my soul, and you stay there, prosperity and all things good will always be yours. Every single day, guys, over and over and over again. Get dipped in that type of fire. Last but not least, expect miracles. It's my favorite of all the epigrams. It's all over my office. And it's not a saying. It is a true expectation. And here's what I will challenge is that if chiropractors do not expect miracles, how in the world will they? The ones that we serve, the ones that we lead. And so as you look out in political chaos and I look out in the big world, do I expect miracles in this time? If I'm expecting chaos and division and the fall of Rome and I'm expecting darkness, I've fallen for the wrong narrative. I expect miracles because I am a chiropractor, because I am a daughter of God, because I know that the power that made the body heals the body, because I know that there's infinite innate intelligence and universal intelligence working for my highest and greatest good at all times and for the highest and greatest good of humanity for that matter. Do you believe that? Do you expect miracles? Because when you do, you emanate a different type of energy field all around you and your team will get that. It's contagious. When my kids, when they cough, if I think something's wrong with them and I'm teaching them that they're broken, well, that affects the practice because it's a fundamental truth. This is a major premise. Expect miracles is a major premise in my life, with my husband, with my kids. This isn't something I put on the wall of the practice. This isn't a chiropractic epigram. This is a major premise that I expect miracles no matter what. And I believe that. I know that. It's in every adjustment. If they walk in and they can't walk, I believe there is a possibility that that person would walk. And I'm tapping into that. I expect miracles and I exude that in every conversation, in every movement, in every way in my practice. And if the practice is dipped down, one of the first places I will look, I'm going to look at the big idea. I'm going to look at, am I expecting miracles? I'm going to look, am I letting it come from my soul? I'm going to look, have I been working out? Have I been praying? These metrics, these 5 are my no excuses mentality. This is how I know that I'm the master of my fate and I can shift the course of my practice and my life at any time. These 5 right here. Do you expect miracles? Do you believe in miracles? Do you know that they are in motion every single day? Do you let it come from your soul when you are adjusting someone? Every single person that you lay your hands on. Do you get the big idea? Do you believe that it's not about you? Do you practice that in your day-to-day life, but also knowing like it's all about you and you got to do the work? Because these 5, if I could just plant them in the hands and the minds of chiropractic students and doctors in the field, I feel like they're the main things that get me fired up and get me back in alignment, that adjust me, body, mind, and soul. So I hope that something that I said that streamed through me to you landed with you today. Save this, come back to it, because we all fall off track. We are all human in this spiritual endeavor. We are all imperfect. And it's not if, but when life is going to smack us with hardship or when it's going to knock us off our course. And that will affect the service that we provide in our offices. So it is anchors like these that keep me steady, no matter what the world's doing, no matter what life is throwing at me, no matter the limitations and the fears and the excuses that I have in my mind. I come back here. That's the big idea, as short and concise as I can put it, into actionable adjustments that you can take with you today. Now from here, we'll have lots of conversations, and I'm going to bring my husband and my brother and my sister and my network of chiropractors that I serve alongside. And my hope, my vision is that chiropractic is at the forefront of bringing light into dark times, that chiropractic is at the forefront and remembered throughout history as the way makers, the miracle makers, the hope dealers, the love doctors. We're the ones. It's in every essence of our philosophy and our foundation, but we have to believe it first. We have to be it first. And when you get the big idea, my love, all else will follow. So cheers to our first episode, and I'll be seeing you soon.